Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Phil Brilliant, Simply Brilliant. It is Thursday, April 23rd. I almost said January 23rd. April 23rd. Um, boy, what a day. What a day. So let me cover a few things. First, today is 6 years exactly since my uncle passed away on the English calendar. Do miss him and think about him a lot. And wish he was here because he was a lot of humor, a lot of fun. And, I talked about him like last week that, he always had a corny joke for you or a good story. And maybe that's where I got some of my humor from because it is bad. And you can ask my kids, they will tell you it's bad. But do miss him and hopefully, he's having a scotch today. I'll have a scotch in his memory and it's what we do. And as I said last week, and I'll say it again, my mom always said, people don't die, they live on in your heart forever. And definitely feel that with my mom, my uncle, and others. So, shout out to his kids and, to those who were friends and all those he touched. He was a very big supporter in the special needs community. He owned a camp up in the Catskill Mountains back in the 70s and 80s for special needs kids, and was a special education teacher at Glassboro State College, Rowan. So he taught teachers to be special education teachers, and really was important to him and. A lot of fun at camp back in those days, and a lot of fun when he would bring campers home. Uh, there's a lot of words I can't use on this video that were said and were taught. Especially, we had this one. I'm going to regress. We had this one camper, Bruce Polsky, no, Bruce Chickawa, and he had Tourette's, and it was really bad. And his trigger was the word F and B. You can figure out what that was. And the more nervous he got, the more he said it. And he would walk up to you, and that's probably why at a very young age of like 5, I knew what that was and learned my first curse words. But it was a lot of fun. And again, for me, it really, I think, in my childhood, taught me a lot about sensitivity, taught me a lot about caring for those who needed care. And my mom taught me that, and maybe that's why I am who I am now. And yesterday there was a council meeting. Last night, I will tell you, I did not make it. Yesterday was a full day. Yesterday was Earth Day. Started my day at the Rawway Sewage Authority. Left there, not sure if I could go anywhere else because I thought I smelled like raw sewage, but I did not. And I hope I didn't. But also got some bad news. I had said on Tuesday my dog was going in. My dog Leonard, I call him Leo, was going in for some testing, and got some bad news yesterday that he has a large mass around his heart, and there is really nothing they can do for him. And slowly but surely, the mass will take over the flow of his heart. It's around his aorta, and he will, for lack of a better term, than what we do as adults. Some people have congestive heart failure. He'll have congestive heart failure, and the question is, will he pass on slowly or will it be sudden? Don't know the answer, but he is by far my longest relationships outside of my kids in my entire life. We've been together. I keep saying 13 years, but I think it's actually 12 years. I think we got him in 2014. And so sad day. Was trying to swallow that and still trying to swallow it. Just actually told my daughter this morning, and um, you know, it's we get very close to our pets. We get very close to our dogs. He's my son. I'm gonna miss him, but we'll enjoy life as he's still here. And Louis, his partner in crime. I'm not sure what he's gonna do when Leo passes on, but it is going to be difficult. But we'll keep him comfortable. And so that was some depressing news yesterday. So I felt last night the last thing I wanted to do was fight at a council meeting. So I stayed home and watched it until Daniel Rodrick cut the feed, as he always does, because he doesn't want people to see what's going on at the meetings. And especially now he walks out so he doesn't listen to the public, and walked out at the public comment period and cut the feed. So we did see the majority of the meeting. I will go back on it today, but I want to hit uh, two major parts, which I think is important. And I feel bad that I wasn't there last night for the gentleman who got up talking about the Jamestown apartment complex, that he opposed it being in the fourth round of the affordable housing plan. He wasn't quite sure how they were going to do 42 additional units. And, it's only 42 units. Where is it going to be? Jamestown had come to the zoning board back in 2021. He had come out against it back then, and it did not get approved from the zoning board. So how could it be in the fourth round? And, Rodrick did make a truthful statement and said, well, the developer filed a builder's remedy claim and filed against Tom's River. So we had to let him into the plan, which is true. But what he didn't say and what he didn't tell this gentleman, so the way the plan is written, and you had to go back and look at the ordinance, and it was right there if anybody had a copy of the ordinance. So it's 42 affordable units, but it's made up of, it's either 20 or 24 of the existing units will be converted. And then the change to an EMF 23 zone, which is what they did last night by approval, allows a density not to exceed 23 and a half units per gross acre with a 20% affordable set aside. Now, hold that thought for 1 second. I will tell you that the fourth round affordable plan shows it as a 30% inclusory with a pilot agreement. So these are all to be determined. So what does that mean? If it's a 30% set aside with 20 to 24 units being converted from the existing, that means you're going to get 90 to 110 new units. Okay. If it is, I think I did the math here. Yeah. If it's 30%, you're going to get 75 to 60 new units if it's 20 to 24 set aside. So what, to be clear, which was not made clear last night, was this is not 42 units being constructed. This is at least 75 units being constructed and possibly up to 110 units being constructed. It potentially, based upon the ordinance, can be, I think it is, let me look real quick. I'm sorry, I should have this in front of me. Not to exceed 3 stories, which is 40 feet. And it has to have parking of 1.35 parking spaces per dwelling. So it's very clear that Daniel Rodrick only tells what he wants to tell. But I felt bad that I was yelling at the TV and wanted to tell this gentleman exactly what the truth was. There will be up to a potential 110 new units constructed there at Jamestown. They do have to come back to the planning board to get their approval. But if it's in the affordable housing plan, it usually does get an approval. The other thing he said last night was that the Hooper Claudinia redevelopment that is part of the fourth round is actually from the third round. And that's not true. It was not included in the third round. It was removed at adoption in the third round. So it's never been considered and never been approved. So last night when it was approved, it is the first time. So let's make sure that that's very clear, that was removed from the third round and is here in the fourth round. Nothing last night addressed the units they need to recoup Hope's Crossing leaving and what Daniel Rodrick has said, that he wants to stop or he wants to eliminate the building near Lake Ridge. To be determined. They are in court this morning at 9:30. Hopefully they all behave themselves, and hopefully Tom's River comes out with some kind of benefit and extension to be able to continue to do work on what is necessary to get to the conclusion of the affordable housing plan without builder's remedy being implemented. Because remember, right now, it is on hold. There was also an ordinance last night at first reading, which was passed. It has to do with a amendment to the employee use of vehicles. We got a feel for what this ordinance is because Daniel Rodrick basically said, I told you guys I would give up my vehicle if you give up your health benefits and if the MUA gives up their health benefits. So first of all, I want to make it clear one more time. Health benefits at the MUA are paid by ratepayers, not taxpayers. And there's a difference. Okay. A ratepayer is somebody who has sewage disposal and pays the Toms River MUA. Business, residential, industrial, and government. Okay? A taxpayer is somebody who physically owns property in Toms River and pays taxes. You see the difference, right? If you are a renter in Toms River, you are not paying a MUA bill. Now, it may be tied up in your rent, but you're not paying directly. Okay. If you are a business owner in Toms River, like I am, and I have a landlord, I am not paying a rate to the MUA. I'm also not paying taxes. I pay rent. It's all somehow worked out in what you're paying rent wise. These are important differences. And also, Toms River MUA has a commission that sets the rules, regulations, and guidelines for the MUA. When it comes to the council people, there's a policy and it will need to be changed if they were to get rid of the elected official health benefits. But that would also affect Daniel Rodrick because he would lose his health benefits also. This is going to be 2D determined on this. May 13th will be the second reading, possibly, of this ordinance. But I really think that the shutting the meeting down and leaving, is really BS. You are elected to be mayor. You should sit there and listen to your constituents. And I hope you, the constituents of Toms River, listen to Daniel Rodrick when he turns his back on you, because you can do so much better. Sunday morning, 9 a.m., Beach Radio. Okay, Beach Radio app on your phone, mybeachradio.com, and the beach radio stations, which I'll pull up because I don't have them memorized yet, and I apologize in advance to Beach Radio. I will be on Sunday morning with MJ Torres, and MJ Torres is the executive director of the Toms River Business Improvement District. That's downtown Toms River. She helps put businesses in those shops. She helps with all the festivals. She helps with all the activities. She doesn't help. She runs them. She's the one who fights for all those businesses, gets the budget approved, makes sure that they have money to get things done. She's also the president of TRAC, which is the Toms River Artists Council, and an artist in herself. So we're going to talk about all that. It is Sunday morning, 9 o'clock on Simply Brilliant. It is 96.7 FM, 104.1 FM, 1160 AM, 1310 AM. You should join us on Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. I'm already starting to work up who's next week, and you're all going to be excited about that too. And you can also always go to mybeachradio.com and you can hear all of the past recordings. But tune in live. It's always so much better. Hey, I'm Phil Brilliant, Simply Brilliant. Have a really great day.